It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The ball on the tee, we're set for football. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. To throw at the outset, here's Hurts. This one complete down the field to Goddard. Big strides, look at him go. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Dallas Goedert, 77 yards. And the Eagles get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. One play in the end zone on the long touchdown pass. You knew they wanted to get him involved. He's their go-to guy. First play, though, wow.
Yeah, and I remember when I was playing, something similar happened. I remember getting to the sideline and my coach said, so what in the scouting report with circling him, putting a star by him, did you not get that he was a good player? And that's the question I would have for them now. You know, as you said, he's a go-to guy. How is he not covered? No, I should say covered well.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. A first run now for Kyren Williams. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 4. Now a play fake, and it's Stafford. That's into the hands of Tutu Atwell. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Here's Stafford. That's caught. Puka Nacua. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now it's Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
So on 4th down, Sean McVay going to send out the field goal unit. They'll spot it at the 30, so this is a 40-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their second drive. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They run with a dangerous Saquon Barkley. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He winds up losing a yard. It's 2nd down. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Open man, that's Devontae Smith. Here comes 3rd and about a foot. They go play action with Hurts. Rolling to his, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Byron Young, the one who got in and finished that play off.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. In motion, the tight end. A quick throw out to Adams on the perimeter. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So that as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football, all right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
Short throw, it's Higbee. And Higbee going to have a Rams 1st down as he'll get this up across the 30-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Off of play action, here's Stafford. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down.
Those are the ones you dream of as defenders. I think if he gets eyes on the ball a little bit earlier, he might come away with it. Instead, it's going to wind up as just an incomplete pass.
Stafford looks to throw again. Short throw, it's Higbee. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Stafford. This one swung out to Williams. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Hurts sets up to throw it. Got a man. It's Brown. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards for number 11. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defense.
Oh, and Hurts is going to be hit and taken down to the ground. Poona Ford, the one to get to him and drop him. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this 1st quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the 1st quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. 1st quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. The last series form, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at the 20. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Throwing is Stafford. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Out of the gun, Stafford. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A gain there of 21 yards.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
They give it to Williams, running right. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
To throw is Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Up the middle, it's Williams. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. Back to throw, Stafford. Pass complete there to Nakua. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The Rams with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Here's Ethan Evans now. On the return is Williams. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia's offense ready to go again. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Man open left side is Brown. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Got this complete to Jahan Dotson. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. They'll try to run for it with Barkley. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. It's an Eagles 1st down on a gain of 11.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
2nd down and a yard. Throwing is Hurts. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Hurts. And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards. But instead, offense out there. They're going for it. They'll try and run the option. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Here's Braden Mann now as he's on to punt for Philadelphia. He's been a busy man here in this 1st half as he gets it away. Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. He's going to find Atwell open downfield. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
From the 46, here's the 2nd down and 4. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And he checks this one down to Williams. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him. When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Stafford. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
That was a chance for the breakthrough. He's got a man running free, and you've got to be able to put that on him. But instead, led him too far, incomplete.
2nd and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Here's Stafford. And this is going to be intercepted. Keely Ringo picks it off. And the Eagles are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Smith. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Barkley, inside handoff. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here now, 3rd and a yard. In motion left comes Brown. They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
And this is just a little touch pass. They send the receiver in motion, just kind of tap it forward to him. Now, it doesn't turn into a huge play, but they do pick up a first down, a nice, consistent gain.
A first down carry for Barkley. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
This short throw caught by Goddard. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
So 3rd down, and defensively the Rams have added 2 extra DBs. They'll look to throw here. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play, stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 2nd and 7, Hurts. This will be caught by Brown. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 34-yard line. 11 yards for number 11. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time, and a first down.
And now at this point in the first half, you've got to realize as an offense, you're not going to get it all back in one fell swoop. This is going to be about sustained drives and making sure you finish with points. And that's a good throw there for a first down.
Here's Hurts to throw. Over the middle, brought in by Dotson. And he's going to have a gain of 11 to the 11 before he's brought down. 1st and 10.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
They'll look to throw again. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Jahan Dotson, an 11-yard touchdown, as his guys are able to extend their lead.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set, and racing going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it. Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Over the middle, complete. It's Adams. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Now it's Stafford. Short throw, it's Higbee. And Higbee going to have a Rams first down as he's inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
I know that halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Again, it's Stafford. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Stafford. He'll get this one complete to Atwell. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. 2-2 Atwell in the final seconds of the first half. And the Rams are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Until that late score here in the 2nd quarter, they only had the field goal, so that's just big to see that football get into the end zone.
Yeah, when you look at the scoreboard now, nothing seems out of reach. They've been outplayed in the first half, but when the clock hits zeros as they head into the half, you know what I do as the head coach?
What?
I tell my team to sprint to the locker room to show that we've got the momentum and show that we're right back in this game.
Four seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. From out of his end zone, it's Avery Williams. And able to get this out to the 25. And the Eagles going to get one final possession in this first half. 1 second, all that remains. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the 3rd quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the 3rd quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
To the right side and complete to Atwell. And he's brought down. 5 catches for him in that first half, and that's number 6 that we just saw, and also a first down.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Stafford now to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Davante Adams. 29 yards. And the Rams have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 17-14. The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other. Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they found a way to be successful with it.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Hurts sets up to throw it. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Dotson in motion right. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. On the move to his left. Gets past one man, and he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
At least this time he's getting hit after a positive play for his offense. The pressure was coming through yet again, but he certainly didn't stick around for the sack on this occasion. Found an escape route and ended up getting the first down before taking the hit.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle here to Brown. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Touchdown! Jalen Hurts on target to Dallas Goedert. And the Eagles have retaken a third-quarter lead. So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third-quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But, boy, they executed awfully well moving the ball down the field.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that will make this a 4-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And the LA offense ready for this next possession. They had seized the lead there for a little bit with a starting drive in the third quarter, but a moment ago, the touchdown that puts them back behind.
So their defense is under siege a little bit right now because they have not able to solve their opponents. So they've got to keep hammering away on offense and try and win this one in what appears to be a shootout.
They begin the drive with Williams. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 46 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. They held him in check in the first half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the first half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I'd keep going back to him.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 5. In motion goes the tight end. Throwing is Stafford. Short throw, it's Higbee. And Higbee going to have a Rams first down up to the 47-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
Now a play fake, and it's Stafford. Going to be taken in here by Nakua.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Stafford. He's got his target. That's complete. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 37. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field defensively. Make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
Here's back-to-back catches for Davante Adams. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. It's a gain of 34.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Davante Adams with now his 2nd touchdown of this 3rd quarter. And the Rams are able to move back in front. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
70 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Throwing quickly, that's caught by Brown out wide. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
They go play action with Hurts. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Hurts. He finds him again, Saquon Barkley. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Throwing is Hurts. Target is to Dotson, and he's got him.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now 2nd and 3. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Back to throw here. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A field goal helps, but a touchdown gets you the lead. That had to be the message transmitted in the huddle. And they delivered there as that throw is going to keep the drive alive. And even better than that, set them up with a 1st and goal.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Saquon Barkley, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles have answered back with a 3rd quarter touchdown of their own to retake the lead.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. 2nd and 7. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. Back to throw, Stafford. Short throw, it's Higbee. So the completion good for just 3. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Stafford. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12.
Draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. To keep backing up and backing up and backing up, eventually dropped for a huge loss.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Here's Williams to return. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Eagles set and ready for their next offensive drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. And he'll get this underneath, dropping it off for Barkley. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching in Atlanta, our apologies. Past the 20. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
It's getting cold in here, partner, because it looks like he's trying to ice this one away. Yeah, I know, bad dad joke, but what the heck, right? Scrambling for that first after the D blanketed his receivers, that's a backbreaker for the defense. They finish this drive off with 6, and this one could be over.
Here's Hurts to throw. That is caught inside the 5. And the Eagles are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. This is caught. Touchdown, Eagles. Grant Calcaterra, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Eagles get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. But that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10. Just shy of the 30. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. 60 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Stafford. And his throw here's incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And this one complete to Smith. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And this will be caught by Brown. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. If they continue to throw these safe passes, who can blame them?
From the gun, it's Hurts. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Up the middle with Barkley. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Hurts sets up to throw it. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Byron Young picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. A CD, a little bit of feast or famine for him. He's had some success throwing the football, but also now he's been sacked 4 times.
Yeah, you just mentioned the 4 sacks, but you're right. He has managed to hang in there and make plays at times. His offensive line, they've got to figure it out and pick things up and give him more opportunities, and he has to help them by getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker as well.
Flush to his right. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a 1st down. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Now that's a killer because you think you've got it absolutely covered, and then he hot foots it out of there and picks up a first down. Drives you crazy as a defense.
Looked like, you're exactly right. Looked like a for-sure stop on third, and then the tables turned. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Got him in. It's Brown. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Here's a 2nd and 8. A give to Barkley out of the gun. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 96 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell him to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They're going to look to throw. Looking for A.J. Brown again, and he's got it again. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jalen Hurts finding A.J. Brown. And the Eagles have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. So an important touchdown right there is now they're really beginning to pull away.
Yeah, and this was a tight game until not too long ago. But since then, they've hit the accelerator, and they pushed the lead up to 3 scores here in the 4th quarter, and I don't see them looking back.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And just shutting him off there. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And the Rams now coming out on the field. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and just a couple. They're giving those short little routes, tackled him in bounds too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
The offense on 3rd down, they've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, Stafford. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Rams first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Throwing again is Stafford. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Here's Stafford. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 43. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Again, it's Stafford. That's quickly to Atwell on the slant. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's 2nd and 3. Now Stafford. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. To the air again, Stafford. Pass taken in by his big tight end. He's got the first down and more. And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores, want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Stafford. Throw out wide is incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Throwing is Stafford. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. 2-2 Atwell with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Rams have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Eagles dodge a bullet. They cover it up. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. Got to figure the rush is going to be fierce again as they come up 2nd and 13. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. The Rams going to be forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Tough spot here, 3rd down and 11. They'll run it again with Barkley. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
And we'll see if they go back to base. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Here's Stafford. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visit it, and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast. One team came away with a victory, even better for them.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Eagles are winners here as we say so long from Philadelphia.